welcome to another episode of the Honest Football Coach podcast with me, Dan Steele. Again, sharing some really good stories on this episode. My guest, Leah, is bringing a really good news story, I think, and it celebrates my club as well. I'll let you do the talking, Leah. How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Superb. Okay then, let's jump straight into it because it's quite a topic. What are you up to?
So, we have just created our first disability team that is part of the club with Bradwell Football Club. For our sort of immediate area, which is Newcastle under Lyme, I think we're the second. We might even be the only one. I could be wrong though, but yeah. So running a team for under 12s, predominantly with SEND needs, so special educational needs. But it's not limited to that either. So yeah, all exciting stuff.
This sounds really good. And obviously, we've spoke off camera, and I've seen some of your Facebook posts. And if anybody's watching, I highly recommend you go back and have a little look at things that have been posted on the Bradwell page and the Staff's Footy Alliance page as well, because it's very, very positive thing that you're doing. So, I mean, first question, I suppose, is why? What are you doing? Have you gone crazy, or what's happening?
I'm questioning my sanity at this point now. I'm only kidding. I absolutely love it. So what the why? So I'm a mum to 9-year-old Jude. Jude's diagnosed with ASD, and he's also got a condition called hypermobility as well, which is, in a nutshell, like double jointed, but in every single I don't know what you call them, like your elbows, every single joint, that's the word I'm looking for. Every joint in his body he's got, which is typical in children who are autistic.
Okay.
Jude has been asking for years to join the football team, years. And I think you'll find this a lot with SEND mums. You sort of get a bit, it's nerve-wracking, because the world isn't built for our children. So trying to get him into a club that's going to, understand his needs and things like that was really tricky. And it's something that I've just been put off, and it's purely because of rejection.
Okay.
Because, like I said to you earlier, Dan, one thing that I always say, if you don't know, you don't know. So if you reach out and say to somebody, my son wants to join your club, just want to let you know that he's autistic, not just in a sporting environment, in lots of environments, you normally get a bit of a pushback, and it's something that we're used to as SEND parents. But I was made aware of a club that was not based on ability whatsoever. They just wanted kids to come and play football.
Okay.
So I spoke to the guys who run the club, and they were great. They were really good. I made them fully aware that he didn't have great confidence, but he was part of a sports club in Bradwell, actually, DP Sports, which is absolutely fantastic. They're great, but what they were missing was a team, and that's what Jude wanted to be part of, which is the only reason he left. I just chat with them. That wasn't an issue. Skill set wasn't an issue. They were based on building confidence in kids to then build the skills.
Yep.
So took him along. Didn't tell him at this point that he was autistic, because why should I? I don't. Yeah. It's not like he's got any severe behavioural issues or anything like that. And as I say, it's almost a disadvantage telling somebody that, which we absolutely shouldn't even be having this conversation about, being open and honest about disabilities. But took him along, and he had the time of his life. I mean, this kid was running up and down doing football. He's never done a football drill in his life. And, because of his autism, he does struggle to, follow instructions. You have to give him things in brief, short sentences for him to sort of retain that information. Yeah, cool. But he smashed it. He did. He absolutely smashed it. Come off the pitch and was like, right, I won't be in this club, Mum. And honestly, I was like, oh my God, like he's got somewhere that he feels comfortable with kids who he doesn't know. It was amazing. So we spoke to the coach at the end and he said, bring him back next week. Let's get him in a bit more training. But there was some mention of games. So I left it for a little bit. Mother-in-law was in hospital and somebody needed to be home. This feels very unrelated, but it does relate to the story. Somebody needed to be home on the Sunday when she got out. So dropped the coach a message just saying, will Jude be having any matches on this Sunday because mother-in-law is due back from hospital? Didn't get a response, which is fine, you know. Coaches are busy. This is not just, you know, our only job. A couple of days later, still didn't hear anything, so he dropped him another message. And he came back and was just saying some stuff about how he thought that Jude wanted to be a goalkeeper and things like this. And I was just like, this is so strange. And I feel like at that point, I thought, you know what, I'm going to let them know that he's autistic because maybe they have looked at his skills and thought, oh, he's not up to scratch with the other boys. And actually, I shouldn't have been made to, well, they didn't make me feel like that, but I shouldn't have had to say that. But I did. I let them know that he was autistic. Didn't get a response back again. But I then basically got a message saying that Jude isn't what we're looking for. And my whole world literally fell apart. I cannot tell you how horrific that was to receive that message. It was awful.
Yeah. So, it was awful. I mean, obviously, you've then got to go and break the news to Jude that he can't. I mean, how do you do that as a parent? I mean, you've just said it's horrific. How do you tell somebody you can't? And they've just found his core as well. He's just found something that he's been accepted.
Yeah, which that's it. And you know, it's hard for any kid. It doesn't matter, you know, if you've got a neurodiverse child or a neurotypical child, going and sitting down and telling a child that they are not good enough for a football team that they've just been fully accepted into because their mum has said to them, you don't need to worry about how good you are at football because they are going to have you anyway. You know, you're going to build your skills, you're going to build your confidence. And I'll be honest, the only way we did tell him a little bit of a fib. We did. So Jude was actually playing the year below. So I told him that they got the ages wrong, and because he was only 9, he couldn't play in the team. He had to be 10. Okay. So that was literally the only way we got around it. Yeah. And I can't tell you, Dan, how heartbroken he was. He was absolutely devastated. So can you imagine if I had to sit him and tell him, you know, the real reason? Yeah. So, yeah.
It can be quite cruel, stuff. It can be quite cruel, can't we?
It is.
And I think it's sort of... I mean, as you're talking, I'm kind of thinking of my team and my lads and the conversations I've had with coaches where they've told me, "Oh, I've got rid of a player because he wasn't very good," and that's in a team that's fully functioned, been together for ages. Normally, in my case, and same as Jude as well, they all go to the same school, you know, so they've got that in common as well. And if I ever had to turn around, I mean, it wouldn't happen anyway, but if I ever turned around and said, "Sorry, young man, you're not good enough to play in this team," you kind of lose sight of they are 10-year-olds. They are, in my case, 10-year-olds, and they're still children.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a risk. Yeah. That could stay with you for a long time, couldn't it? That rejection of something that's quite what it. Okay, so you kind of, your arm's been twisted. You've had to, in want of a better phrase, break his heart. You've had to pass that message on. So how do you recover from that then? What's the positive spin on that?
So you probably stay up all night crying first. So you go through your grieving bit. So we go through that grieving bit, and then you go through the anger stage. So at this point, as a mum who has got no, you know, and I'll be really open and honest, I don't know that much about football. I really don't. But at this point, I hated the whole of the grassroots community. Every single person. I was just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that this is, you know, what? Not you, Dan. And the next morning I got up and it affected me that much. I didn't even want to go to work. Like this
Okay.
was, we were going through a bit of a rough patch with Jude, to be fair, anyway, through like some things that were going on. Nothing with the school at all. Jude's school's absolutely fantastic, but he was struggling within school. He was struggling within the classroom environment, and it just all come at once. So I just thought, and this is wild thinking back now, like, because it felt like such a big, bold idea. But I thought, well, do you know what? If the world isn't going to change for Jude, I'm going to change grassroots for him and boys like him. So I'm just going to make my own football team. And that's exactly what I said. And my husband just went, oh God, because he knows once I got an idea in my head, that's it. And he was like, right, so we haven't got no Sundays now for
No.
and whatever other days. But I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it. Don't know where I'm going to start, but I'm making it happen. It's going to happen because I can't have another mum and another child who might not have the age excuse feel the way that we do right now because their child's autistic and there's not the space for them in a traditional team. And that is where it comes from. You know, it wasn't just for my boy and changing, you know, the narrative for him, but also for every other child like him as well.
Yeah, no, that's amazing because when you say that with so much passion that you clearly have about it, that's what football's about, and that's what the idea is sold to everybody, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to get the teams at the top tiers or the top leagues who, you know, are trying to get into academies, and that brings its own sort of issues and problems.
Yeah.
You know, you have fallings out with parents and things like that, for example. But we were very quick, I think, to lose sight of why we did it in the first place. You know, so that's amazing. That's great. So where did Bradwell come in then? Where did we sort of?
So Bradwell. So as I say, I knew nothing about football. I knew nothing about clubs. And I thought that I could go out and independently do this. I was like, I'm going to have my own football team. This is what we're going to be. And to be fair, Jude picked a really cool name for the team. So the original name that he wanted for his football team was Nova FC. And the reason for it is, it was the meaning for Nova. And it was like shining bright through difficult times and all this stuff. It was really, really good. So I was like, right, what do I need to do first? And my first thing was a coach. But it wasn't, in the coach is the absolutely fundamental part of making this team. It is for every football team, right? But when you are looking after children that have got special needs, it's got to, you know, it's something that can't just be like, oh, do you want to come and give me a hand with this? I needed somebody to have as much passion as me, as much patience as me, because you do need a lot of patience with these boys. They're fantastic, but patience is, you know, something you need a lot of. And I want somebody who's bought into it as much as me, not just somebody who's like, do you know what, Leah, I'll give you a hand. It's so important that these boys have got consistency, they've got routine. It's got to be somebody who's really dedicated. So when I was talking to my friend about it, I said, this is what I'm going to go and do. And she was like, oh my God, Leah. I was like, no, I'm going to make it happen. It's going to happen, but I need a coach. And finally, she's my best friend, right? She's just got married. Yeah. She was like, Leah, what about Cal? And I couldn't have landed on any better. Not even landed on. I don't know why I didn't think. I think you think people that are close to you almost don't want to burden them with, you know, with that. So yeah, we got Cal on board, started looking into various things like DBS checks and things like that. And I was just hitting brick walls. I was like, I can't do this on my own. So I was speaking to a guy at work who was part of another club, and he suggested Bradwell, which I think was so nice. You know, he could have said, why don't you come along to our club? And he couldn't rant and rave about Bradwell enough. So reached out on Facebook and managed to speak to the lovely, lovely Sarah. And yeah, that's where it started from, really. Brilliant. From there.
Superb. Okay, so obviously with like any other team in Bradwell, your club will have a name. What's your team's name?
Yes. So we are Bradwell under 12 yellows. So under 12, a little bit different actually to your typical football. So because the boys are part of what is called the PAN League, so that is the league for people with disability. I've got boys from age 8 up to 11. Under 12s is the most sort of fitting. I mean, I suppose we could have had 8, 9, 10 and 11s, but it would have been a bit too much of a mouthful. So under 12 yellows.
So that's a PAN League. Is that playing against teams of similar standard, if you like, if you're similar sort of ability?
Yeah. So because disability teams are, there's nowhere near as many teams as there are standard teams. So it means that we're part of like the Midlands. So you've got all the teams over the Midlands, right from Row Lane right down to like further than Walsall, really. So a little bit more travel's included, but the boys play 1 game a month, and it is the PAN League. It's not necessarily just children that have got special educational needs, so children that are like on the spectrum. It can be a whole range of disabilities. So other than, I believe, being blind or being in a wheelchair, because they have their own specific leagues, it pretty much covers any other disability.
Brilliant.
So they'll play like an under 12s team that are similar to them, which is brilliant.
Super. So the absolute definition of inclusion, and so that's basically what we're talking now. It's phenomenal. It's good stuff. As you're talking there, I can feel Adam over my shoulder smiling and Keith this side, sort of, these big grins on the face, because, I'm itching to get them on. Adam, if you're watching, get yourself on the podcast. But I know these guys, if you chop their arm off, Bradwell pours out, it really means stuff to them. And Sarah as well, you mentioned Sarah a few times. All of the committee, all of the coaches really, really think very highly of this club. And I think when it gets recommended by other teams and other clubs as well, that kind of shows there, doesn't it? So there you go.
Amazing.
It's awesome. Just sort of talking about your facilities then, I suppose. So what happens with regards you're quite new, but kit, training facilities, balls, all of the equipment that you need, where does that all come from?
So we have got we've got 2 sponsors. So we have got a sponsor called Rebel, who there's a lady she's huge on Instagram. Huge. She's got 300,000 followers, and her name's Part-Time Working Mummy.
Wow.
Her clothing brand Rebel sponsors us, and the kit, we've had the mock-up done. It looks incredible. I can't wait for it to come. It looks amazing. And then we have another sponsor called SSA Clothing, and they make lots of different accessories and clothing that is all promoting autism and ADHD. We've got SSA, who do our training kit, which is amazing. Through that as well, because these people are like giants on social media, it's also drawn attention from little Ronnie Foden as well. So we've had Ronnie Foden like in a few of the boys' videos commenting on him, which is just, for this cause to reach professional footballers, it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Kits, so Bradwell have very kindly provided our training balls and our cones. And then we've gone out and we've purchased some kit ourselves. So Coach Cal went out last week and got the hurdles. This is what I mean.
Well
I know everything about most things, but some hurdles.
You know more than you
some
think.
Mini goals.
Yep.
So we used them in the last training session, and the setup was absolutely brilliant. The boys loved it. So yeah.
Where are you training then? Are you the Orm Academy, or are you the Brown Hills? I forget what the school's called. So we were gonna be up at Co-op, but due to some
exams taking place and stuff in the sports hall. We weren't able to, so we're now at the Orm Academy, which it fits our needs perfectly, to be fair. The boys love it there. And we train on a Sunday just to keep it consistent for when the boys will be having the games as well, so nothing changes. So yeah.
Super. That's where we train as well, inside, indoors as well. So that's our little spot on a Wednesday. Yeah. Good stuff.
Oh, amazing.
With regards to players, then, have you got a full squad? What does a full squad look like? How many players do you sort of take on?
Yeah, so the Pan League is 5-a-side. So from guidance from sort of the guys at the FA, they've said to, keep it nice and round at 8. So you've got enough subs and everybody gets an equal chance on the pitch, etc. So at the moment, we are a team of 6, but I have got 2 new boys coming in, having a look round on Sunday to see if, see if it's their thing, which I really hope that it is. So if they like it, we'll be at a full team then, which is amazing as well. So yeah,
that's awesome, NC. It's really good. I'm looking at your team, your league. You sound like you're pretty much there. Then you're all set, ready to go. Coach of the year, maybe? Who knows?
I mean, as I say, I like to try and participate in what the boys do, and I'll go and stand at the side of them. And I have got a good idea what's going on, but as I don't know the offside rule, which I'm sure many people in my situation do not either. But I love it. The thing for me, and the thing about me with football, like I've been and seen loads of football matches. We've been Man City a few times with Jude as well. I love the atmosphere, and I love there's nothing better than going and watching a good football game and what that feels like. And that's my part of football for me. I might not know what's going on the pitch, but the way that makes me feel, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And that's what I get when I'm getting my boys as well, when I'm watching them. And it's amazing. Some of the players that we get, because I think as well, probably a misconception, and which is fine, because if you don't know, you don't know. But as autistic people probably aren't that good at football. The boys that we've got, honestly, you would not like to be in goals against some of the balls that are going to come towards you. My goodness me, and because they absolutely love football, and that's their, some of them, especially my Jude, that's their, specialised interest. There's not a thing that they don't know about it. There's not a thing that they don't know about the game. Like my Jude, for example, you give him a football player, he can tell you all the clubs they played for, what position they play in. He can tell you if they're married or not, how many kids they've got, how old they are. Like, it's amazing. And I think, like, there's so much opportunity to bring that into traditional grassroots. It shouldn't be that we've got to, make a specialised team, because there is room for all of these boys in traditional football. That absolutely is, and they would thrive. But I just think there's so much education and so much that needs to change, which is, why I just thought I'd just do it myself instead. So, yeah.
Again, it's funny you say that, because, again, we spoke off camera, and I don't mind admitting my knowledge of autism, for example, is limited. It's very, very limited, but it's not been a subject I've ever been exposed to. So, so I think with you guys joining Bradwell and wearing that badge on your shirt, it makes people wake up a little bit and, sort of take note of what's going on. And one thing I will say, and it's been crystal clear since obviously we've been doing a bit of research before we speak to each other, there's a lot more positivity that's come out of this than there could ever be negativity. I genuinely believe that. I think the comments that I've read, the support that you've got, the little videos that you've been putting on, and to be fair, the little exercises and drills that you've been doing, I think you'd put my team to shame, to be honest with you. So there is some talent in that pool of kids. Honestly, it's even Harry looked at it and went, "Wow, okay." So you're gonna have to pull your socks up a little bit. So he was impressed.
Cal can take all of the thingy for that.
Absolutely, but even that, I mean, there's players in my side in the under-10s level who are looking at what you're doing, and maybe that's got to be a positive, that they're sort of understanding It's awesome.
It's
It
gotta
really is.
be.
Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. So we are quickly coming to an end, but I'm just going to give you a platform just to give anybody a shout out that you want to. Obviously, there's been a lot of support and for yourself. If there's any players that you're looking for, any more sponsors or anything like that, the platform's all yours if you want to.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I suppose a huge thank you for everybody who's following the Facebook page. As you've just said, Dan, it's such a positive place to be, and I think it's such an amazing educational piece as well, because as I've said, you know, consistently throughout this video, if you don't know, you don't know. You know, if there's any football coaches who think, you know, you know, either you've got an autistic child or you think you've got an autistic child and you want to know, you know, how can I make this? And although I wouldn't be able to tell you how you can coach them, but, you know, someone asks me questions, how can I make training easier for them? Have you got any suggestions what I can do with the environment? Or, you know, and just, it's just understanding, it's just education, it's just giving boys a chance. Like, you know, just because somebody is autistic or is on the spectrum, it doesn't mean that they are, one, any less talented at all, or two, just not good enough, because they absolutely are, you know. And I just can't wait to show everybody what the boys are made of as well, because they are the most amazing group of 8, 9 and 10-year-olds that absolutely meant they're all full of loads of passion, loads of energy. And yeah, I think they're going to be big. I think they're going to be big. We've got Ronnie Foden liking it, which they were all buzzing with.
I bet they were. Yeah. That's awesome. So just as a final from me, and probably on behalf of Bradwell, welcome. Welcome to Cal. Welcome to all the players. Welcome to all the parents that come to join. And if you need anything, just reach out to any of us. I mean, you've got contacts with Sarah, obviously, and you know, Keith and Adam. They're a phenomenal club to be part of. You've been brilliant, mate. Thank you very much.
Oh, we are. And you know what? I say it throughout. That's all right. I mean, I say it throughout me posts all the time. Like, I will forever be grateful for Bradwell, because if it wasn't for Bradwell and the fact that I had their buy-in as well, like they were very, very keen. It's not just that they were like, you know, oh yeah, we'll support or whatever. They've been incredible. And without Bradwell, we wouldn't have a team. You know, this just simply wouldn't be happening. So yeah, be forever grateful for Bradwell.
Oh, I second that. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Best of luck with it. I think you need to go get your tactics board out and start learning the offside rule.
Thank you. Well, I'm all right with that one. No, thanks very much for having me, Dan.
No problem. Thank you, Leah. Cheers.